Hey everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thanks so much for joining me today on this Flosstube Friday for Flosstube number 27. Today I want to talk about my stitching and my sewing and some fun stuff that I got, so stick around for that. Before we start, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thanks for being a part of my community, and for those of you who have been hanging out with me these past weeks, months, days, however long you've been hanging out, I'm happy to spend time with you every week, and it's been so nice to get to know you in the comments here on YouTube and also on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, but you want to see what I'm up to during the week, get sneak peeks into my progress for embroideries, or see what I'm baking, or see what's happening in my life, you can find me at Dr._Christy. I'll put that right here. This is a channel about embroidery and other textile crafts, and more recently cross stitch, which I'll talk about in a moment, and baking and history and the history of those things. So if any of that is interesting to you and you are not subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe and stick around and, have fun. Speaking of comments, I mentioned last week that I've been having an issue with comments popping up in my notifications, and then I click on them and they're not there. And it happened again today, and I wrote it down. And so Maud's best friend commented about, on my Stitchy Box unboxing, which I'll talk about in a minute, about another unboxing. And I clicked on that comment, I clicked on their comment, and it doesn't exist on the page, so I can't respond to it. So I'm not sure if that means that Maud's best friend deleted the comment, or if YouTube is hiding the comment for some reason. But even if I go into my, I don't know, my analytics and click on comments that I haven't responded to yet, that doesn't exist. So I'm not sure what's going on, but this happens probably once a video where someone will make a comment, it'll pop up on my alerts, and then there's no comment when I go to look. So again, if you're commenting and I don't respond, it's because I can't see it, or I can't access it to respond. Because I respond to just about every comment. If someone just puts a happy emoji, I'll just kind of like it. I'll put a little heart because I appreciate, just to say that I appreciate you, that you're here and whatever. But if you make a, have a conversation with me, I want to have a conversation with you. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really trying to respond to everybody, and YouTube is not letting me respond to everybody, and it's stressing me out actually, which it shouldn't be, but it is a little bit. All right, so I wanted to mention that I am wearing today my cat shirt in honor of the cat lawyer that has gone viral this week. If you have not seen that video, you need to Google or search in your preferred search engine cat lawyer Zoom and watch the video. I cried, tears dripping down my face. Luckily, for the most part, I don't wear makeup, so there was no issue with that. Tears dripping down my face. So funny. All right. So I wanted to mention that this shirt is in honor of cat lawyer on Zoom, the cat Zoom lawyer. So I said that I had a lot to talk about today. I have FFOs, I have works in progress, I have haul and plans, I have a giveaway. So let's jump right into it. First of all, my first FFO is I made myself a Bob Ross scarf. I decided that a Bob Ross shirt was probably not practical, but a Bob Ross scarf, I will wear this all the time. And I had some trouble with this. I was chatting with Angie, the doc stitcher, yesterday and today. We've been chatting a bit about what I'm doing with this scarf and other things too. But last night, I made a scarf out of this, and it's cotton. It's a not drapey cotton. So it's not actually great scarf material, but I was insistent that it was going to work. And so I struggled with I'm playing around with my rolled hem foot, and that was giving me troubles. And then I'm well, you can see that you can see the inside, because the inside of the fabric is basically white, and so you can see the inside of the fabric. And so I hemmed it, and then I was well, maybe I need to make it into a tube, but then I'm well, if I put it in a tube, I want tassels or something on the end, or fringe. I only had gold fringe, which wouldn't work. Anyway, I was really giving up. And then I Googled cotton scarf patterns, because I am a big fan of not doing any research into the things that I want to do and just going in full force and failing multiple times before I actually look up what I want to do and see if someone else has done it, which they usually have, and then follow their directions. That's how I roll. So I looked up scarf patterns, cotton scarf patterns, and infinity scarves. Duh! Infinity scarves, because when I put it on, it was like too short. Like the tassels were like right here, and like, I mean, the ends were here. It looked like a cravat, which I'm not gonna wear a cravat, right? I don't know how to tie a cravat, not feeling it. But an infinity scarf is perfect. So I made it, I sewed the ends together and made it into an infinity scarf, and I love it. And it's just gonna get better as I wear it and wash it. It's just gonna get softer and softer and softer. So I'm really pleased. And I thought I would wear it for you with my cat shirt. They kind of go. They're a little clashy, but I put on red lipstick to match the signature. See? Right? I think Bob would approve. And considering, I feel like Bob's like essence is love and peace. And I feel like we kind of need that in the world right now, considering like what's happening in the Senate with the impeachment trial and like kind of reliving all of those moments again. I'm like, Bob Ross can help with that. And it just makes me really happy. And it's kind of exactly what I want. It's very good on camera. I'm really pleased with it. So I'm so excited. Okay, so that's my first FFO. My second FFO is my Jane Austen bust is done. Look at that. And I hooped it in the flexi hoop that I'd planned, which I think is like perfect for it. And this is just the Jane Austen bust silhouette that is kind of known for being her. And I just filled it in with all the different flowers that I know how to make and leaves. And it's using 4 colors. It's using an unnamed, let me get it. The main color and kind of the focus color is this unnamed one-off variegated cotton from Dyeing for Cross Stitch. And this is getting into haul, but I went to Michael's over the week to see, well, I went for a particular reason. I went for a blue color for my dragon and harpy cross stitch pattern, which I'll talk about later on. But I thought, why don't I see if I can find a good dupe for this color? And I think I did. So I'll show you that in the haul. It also, the really bright green parts, the leaf parts, are Color and Cotton chartreuse, which it really like almost glows off of the fabric. It uses Color and Cotton Plum Wine as kind of the darker purple color. And then a color that I don't have with me is Color and Cotton Khaki. So that's what this is using. And I love how it turned out. Jane Austen is done. So that's that. Those are my, oh, and I made a bunch of needle minders. Hold on. So I was playing around with some resin, as you do, and I made a Christie's Corner needle minder. I made a Wicket Dog needle minder. That's my pups. I made a Hildegard of Bingen needle minder, which I'll show you when I show you my Hildegard. And I made a bunch of sparkly shark fin needle minders that aren't quite done yet. I need to smooth them off, and I think I might brush them with a little bit more resin to make them shiny, because I kind of want them to be shiny and sparkly, because I don't know if you can see, the bottom is really sparkly and shiny, and I want the whole thing to look like that. So I have a little bit more work to do on these. I want to smooth off the bottom a bit more. So these aren't done, but the other ones are done. And then I made one for Angie as well, who won the project bag a few weeks ago. I sent that all out, and so I made her a needle minder as well, which she, I think, is going to record a Flosstube soon, which is really exciting. So I'll I'll link to her channel down below so you can check that out when it's posted. And those are my FFOs. I mean, those are my FFOs. I don't have any finished objects that haven't been fully finished, but that's okay. Let's talk whips. I have a bunch of whips. I've been working on a lot of things this week, which I'm pretty pleased with. I have, well, first of all, I sketched out all of the archers that I want on my scarf, and it has been transferred onto the scarf, and the scarf is in a hoop. So I'm feeling like I'm working on that. I am a little bit concerned that the fabric is so thin that I won't be able to stitch it really well. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a really, really thin fabric. That would be so disappointing if it didn't work. Oh well. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I'll move on to something else. It's not the end of the world. It's just a couple scarves. So, and I can, you know, give them away as gifts to loved ones because they're actually really lovely linen scarves. So we'll, you know, no loss, but I sketched it out and we'll see how it goes this week. That's my plan this week, is to work on that, but that's getting into plans. I also have been working on my Hildegard of Bingen project, my Cosmic Egg, and here is my new Cosmic Egg needle minder. Don't you love it? Anyway, I finished all of the black and I'm almost done with the orange, and I just feel like once this layer is done, I'm going to be so excited. So around the outside of this is all like yellow flames, and it's going to be so much just filling in of yellow flames. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I may have said this last week. Sorry, there was one of my hairs I'm shedding apparently. So I think I said this last week. Michelle G from Bendy Stitchy mentioned how when she's kind of working on something that is a bit of a slog, she'll do like one strand of that color and then one strand of another color and one strand, you know, and go back and forth, and that kind of keeps it exciting. So I think what I might do is I might shift, instead of doing all of this yellow, so like all of this yellow here at the same time, I might kind of move my hoop into like a corner like that and work on finishing up a corner. And so then I'll get like yellow and blue and part of a sun and a wind and like different things happening instead of just yellow for like a month. So I think I'm going to do that and see how I feel about that. But first, this week, my goal is to finish that orange. I want that orange done. And then I'm going to do the wind, and then I'm going to move on because it's time to move out of the middle, baby. Time to move out of the middle. So, I'm moving this around a lot. Anyway, that's my progress on my Hildegard of Bingen. So that's really exciting. And my new needle minder. Oh, and I want to say, I put googly eyes on the back of my needle bags of my needle minders because it makes me laugh so much. I discovered that the googly eyes that I had were the exact same size as the magnets that I was using for the backing, which is like a very thin, like 1 millimeter thick magnet. So they break. So they have to have something on them. And I decided that they needed googly eyes because at work I have like sticky googly eyes, and I put like googly eyes on everything in the office. Just as an aside, my department chair is a brilliant scholar, and she published a book on conspiracy movements connected with the Equal Rights Amendment in like the 70s, and like conservative women and their role in the movement and that kind of a thing. And it's called Big Sister. The book is called Big Sister, and the cover has all these eyeballs on it, right? Like Big Brother's watching you, like Big Sister. And she did a book launch, and so we have a poster of this cover, and I put googly eyes, and no one's ever noticed because people don't look that closely at things. Well, no one's noticed and said anything to me about it. I'm sure students, as they're walking by, notice and think it's hilarious and think that we're really cool in our department, which we are. Anyway, googly eyes. So yeah, I'm thinking of making needle minders to sell, just like put them in my shop if anyone's interested, and the backs will have googly eyes. I'm also thinking about doing, tell me if you're interested, like in selling bespoke needle minders. So you send me a picture and I make you a needle minder of the picture. And so these are very flat and they're resined. Let me know if that's something you might be interested in. That's something I've been thinking about, but if no one's interested, I won't, you know? Anywho, so that's that. That's that whip. I have my temperature pattern, my temperature bookshelf in here that my mom and I work on together. So that's coming along. And as you notice, I haven't like worked on the bookshelf at all. Like the shelf itself, I really need to work on that bookshelf. And that may be what I do this Sunday, because we're not, I don't think that my mom and I are having our normal crafting this Sunday because it's my grandmother's 90th birthday. And so we're having a Zoom with her and the family. And then I think they're doing a Dolly Parton thing. So I might kind of just take a few hours, do my bookcase, do my shelves, work on the actual outside of the bookcase as well. My dog's like snuffling around on the bed over there. Bless you. Anyway, so I might work on that this weekend and take the time to do that. Oh, and that's, if you're new, and that is a pattern that I created thanks to the encouragement of my subscribers and my mom. It is available in my Etsy shop. I'll put it down below. I have a cross stitch version and I have an embroidery version. I'm doing the embroidery version. And there's also a hashtag attached to it that is being organized, but it was invented by Pam of Stitching the Land of Good Enough. And it's the Stitch the Temp SAL, and I'll put that right here. And this is on Instagram, so I'm following that hashtag. So if you post with that hashtag, I'll more than likely see it, and I'll tell you how amazing it is that you're stitching the piece and how good you are, essentially. I try to be a total ego booster and tell you that you're kind of amazing, because cross-stitching to me is kind of like magic. So there you go. But anyway, you can find that if you're interested on my Etsy shop, and I also released the expansion, the Knick-Knack expansion pack, because as you can see here on the cross-stitch version, there are knickknacks throughout the bookshelf, as there are on my bookshelves, and I made little knickknacks that you could replace the ones that I charted in. I hope that made sense. Anyway, so that is the bookcase pattern. Finally, I have been working on cross stitch. I've been doing cross stitch, everybody. Oh my goodness. So this is the beginning. This is like my first real cross stitch. This is the beginning of the harpy's tail of my cross stitch pattern. I'll put a picture up here because I haven't printed it out yet in its glory. It is based on two different lace patterns from 1596. These are found in a manuscript that is held at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and they are, this and other lace patterns were drawn up in 1596, and I decided I was going to chart them as cross stitch patterns. And so what I did was I put the two, like the dragon and the harpy, together facing each other. I resized them. I did some things. I put borders around them. And so this is kind of my interpretation of that lace pattern. And this is, I think, going to be the first in a series because I really enjoyed making this pattern. And this pattern will be released in my Etsy shop next Friday. But in the meantime, this is my giveaway. If you are interested in stitching this pattern and would like to win a copy of it, just in the comment down below, just say dragon, D-R-A-G-O-N. I'll put it right here. And before my video next week, I will pick a winner and I'll announce the winner next week. And it is a PDF pattern. I'm going to try to make it, and all my future patterns, Pattern Keeper compatible. Apparently the program that I use allows that to happen. So anyway, this is my start. And I kind of want to talk about this because those of you who have been with me for a while know that I don't do cross stitch, right? I have issues with counting. And so I do freehand embroidery because it doesn't have to be exact. I don't have to worry about counting. But I thought, since I'm kind of designing this pattern, I should try it. And so I came up with like a way to be able to cross stitch, because just to explain what I mean by I can't count. I can like count, right? I mean, I can count numbers. I can count abstractly. I can count. What I have trouble with is connecting abstract numbers to actual things. So I have trouble counting things. I easily lose track of my count. I second guess myself. It's just kind of a mess, right? I also can't estimate amounts of things, right? So like, I can't estimate if I see a group of things. I have no idea how many are there. A good example of this is when I passed my comprehensive exams, my boyfriend at the time got me flowers. And it was a lot. There were like a lot of flowers in this vase. And I'm like, oh yeah, there are probably like 30 flowers in there. He's like, oh, there should be like 100. So I counted and there were 99, right? That's the level of I can't estimate. I can't estimate distances either, right? So like I'm excellent at parallel parking because I can function in distances, but I can't tell you that that is a foot away from the curb. I don't have any idea of that. I can't estimate an inch. I don't know how big an inch is. I just can't estimate those things. Anyway, so what I did was I gridded this every 5 squares. I also discovered that when you're counting, you're not counting holes, you're counting squares. And that's what threw me the first time I tried to grid fabric, is I was counting holes, but I don't want to count holes. I want to count squares. And I don't know if anyone else cares about this, but that's the other thing I learned. So anyway, so I gridded every 5 squares because I can visually get 5. Like if I see 5, that's about the limit of like what I can like look at something and say, okay, that's 5. I can't look at something and say that's 7. I have to break that down into 3 and 4. It's just how my brain works. So anyway, I gridded it at 5 and it worked great. I'm so excited, like really excited. So this just adds like another level of crafting that I can do. And it means that I can stitch like my own pieces. I don't know that I'll like buy patterns and stuff like that, because I do really love freehand embroidery as my favorite part. And I do like the creation aspect of it, like the creativity aspect of it. And so, but I did want to be able to create my own patterns and actually stitch what I've created. Anyway, that's a very long explanation for how excited I am that I can now do cross stitch. So this is on a 14 count natural Aida that I got at Michael's or Joann's, one of the two. And I tried stitching in hand last night and that worked really well. So stitching in hand may have been quicker than not stitching in hand. It was definitely more convenient. And my Aida is already like getting floppier, which is kind of nice. Anyway, so there's my start. Long story even longer. There's my start of my harpy. And if you would like to stitch the harpy, it will be available in my shop next Friday, but you can also win it by saying dragon in the comments down below. And this is just going to be charted in DMC and I'm stitching it in DMC. It's charted in blue, but essentially it's a light, medium, and dark shade, and it can be any color, which is what I like. I like giving people the opportunity to easily pick colors either that they have, so it's a good kind of like if you have it in your stash, or that fit their decor. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. So this is what it's gonna look like at the end, and that's the start that I have on it. And if you wanna stitch it, dragon in the comments. The last whip that I haven't showed in a while is my peppermint purple Blackwork Stitch Along. I have not been working on it. I decided that I was gonna work on that once a month. And what I noticed is that I was getting a little bit overwhelmed by the stitch along situation, by like the having to do particular stitching, particular days of the week. That was not feeling good to me. And stitching feels good. Stitching is what I do to feel good. And so if stitching isn't feeling good to me, that is defeating the purpose of the stitching. What I decided to do is that I would do my peppermint purple stitch along at the end of every month and just do the whole month at the same time, because it's a pretty quick stitch up. That way I didn't feel like my stitching was being so regimented and regulated, because that, again, not fun for me. So you haven't seen that yet because I haven't worked on it, but I will work on it in a couple weeks and I will show it when I have more done on it. Let's talk about haul. I don't have a huge haul this week. It's mostly thread. Like I said, I went to Michael's and I got some embroidery floss. I went for this color, $7.94, which is the lightest color of my Harpy and Dragon pattern. But then, like I said, I wanted to see if I could find a dupe for this, and I came up with that. And it's a little bit brighter than the one I used, but I think it's very, very close. So if you like how this looks, the fabric that I stitched this on is just a remnant light gray petit point from probably Joann's. And so any gray will kind of give you the same effect. But I thought that this is DMC Moulin, and it is number 4523. So I think that this is a really good dupe if you want to recreate kind of the feeling of my piece. It doesn't have the green in it. That's kind of what it's missing, is like the green aspect, and it's a little bit brighter, but it's a pretty good dupe. This is DMC Moulin or Moulinet. It looks like there's a little accent there. 4523. I also just got some fun ones just to play around with. I got this, another Moulinet 4030, which I thought was a really pretty variegated. And then I got some satin ones, which are really shiny. And they remind me of the rayon that I got in Barcelona that I can't use because rayon just kind of goes like that. But they're really shiny. They're still 6 strands. And this is like a platinum, like a silver, and then like a pearl, S415 and S712. I got those. Oh, I got my Stitchy Box. My Stitchy Box Stash Delights box, which I unboxed in a video on Tuesday, and you can find that right here. I'll just put it right there. This had a lot of really cool stuff in it. It had some nice silks. It had some nice accoutrements. So check that video out if you're interested in the Stitchy Box Stash Delights box that I got this week. I got a fine line water erasable pen that I've had my eye on for a while. So I got that, and this is the Clover brand. I got this from Penguin and Fish. And I also got from Penguin and Fish a black floss cone of doom. I am almost out of black. I had a coupon for Penguin and Fish. They are $55, which is cheaper than DMC sells them for and cheaper than everyone else sells them for. This is the 2100 meters or 2100 yards. It does make a difference. I don't remember which one this is. 2100 meters or yards of black DMC. It will last me forever. And it will sit next to my white DMC, which will also last me forever. So essentially, I will never have to buy black floss again, which is kind of nice. I do use black floss quite a bit in my own pieces when I'm doing kind of, I like doing black outlines. I like doing black pieces that are like sketched looking pieces. And so having black and white for that is really helpful. And that's my haul. It wasn't actually very impressive until this just came today. And so I'll put a link to the Penguin and Fish down below. The other DMCs I just got at Michael's. They're just DMCs. So, and the Stitchy Box, I'll put that down below too. I think that it's full at the moment, but I'm sure that it'll kind of open up again eventually. Oh, and I had asked your opinion on whether I should keep it. Or I guess I asked your opinion on what was in the box. And a lot of you had the same feeling that I did, that like it was a $40 box. I don't feel ripped off, right? I feel like I got some really nice things in the box and I'm happy with the box. The question is, do I want to keep it? $40 a month is kind of steep. I was really pleased, essentially. So I think what I'm going to do is stick with it one more month. So I'll pay in February for April's box because it's like 2 months behind. And I'll see how I feel about February's box. And if I'm like blown away by February's box, I'll keep it. And if I'm feeling like I'm feeling now that I like the stuff that's in it, I don't feel ripped off, I feel like it is worth the money, but $40 is a bit steep for every month, then I think I'll cancel for after the February box. I think that's basically the best bet for me. Those of you, I appreciate everyone's opinions on my video on Tuesday. It was really helpful to help me like solidify my feelings about the box because I was, yeah. So that was very helpful, and I appreciate you all giving me your opinions very much. Yeah. Okay, so I have some plans. I'm gonna be working on all my stitch along. I mean, all my whips. I want to keep working on all my whips. Like I said, I want to finish the orange from the Hildegard of Bingen, those kind of flames. So I'm going to finish up the pattern for the dragon and the harpy pattern and come up with a better name for it. Start planning out my other patterns from that book and other books. I found other books with really interesting lace and embroidery patterns and blackwork patterns in them that I want to kind of chart and incorporate into modern cross stitch and embroidery. So that's kind of, I think, where I'm going to go with my work. I think I'm going to do with my patterns and stuff like that. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to have a history video, which I'm really excited about, that I've been planning for a while. That makes me kind of laugh. And I may try working on, I had mentioned that my editing software has like songs, or not songs, but like music and animation stuff built in. So I may play around with that for Tuesday's video. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so I guess that's it from me. I want to thank you all for watching and for hanging out with me. And we're supposed to have a really bad ice storm, perhaps, which is very unusual. So we're being warned that we may not have power. So I'm going to try and get that Tuesday video uploaded over the weekend. But if I don't and we lose power, I may not be able to upload on Tuesday. So if I don't upload on Tuesday, don't worry. We just have no power and can't upload things. We have water and food, so we don't have to worry about it. It'll be okay. It's just letting you know. Don't be worried about me. And I won't go on the roads if they're icy. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed looking at my stitching. I hope that maybe you were inspired to do some stitching of your own. If you have any questions about anything that I've been doing, please put them down below and I will get to them quickly. Hopefully I can see them. I will get to them if I can possibly get to them. And with all that being said, please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.